let's cover this real quick. Do appreciate y'all. If you guys don't know, Detroit rapper Allstar JR was actually picked up yesterday in California on the way to a Vlad TV interview. If you don't know, basically on April 8th, which is, wow, it's been like 2-3 weeks now, Allstar JR was in a restaurant called Confessions where he was having dinner with a young woman. OG3, along with family and friends, were having a birthday dinner as well. Apparently, J. Prince Jr., who showed up pretty late, had a prior issue with Allstar JR, and they locked eyes instantly. Now, by the way, I'm also going to ad-lib a lot of things I've just heard from both sides. I'll tell you where I heard them from. Right? So that I heard from Ben10's team. Based on, I think they may have had some words. You had the 4K trade dudes, they start hopping, dude. They start jumping them, okay? They wanted to confiscate the chain. Apparently they did confiscate the chain, but they kept trying to, impose a beating on this guy. And some way, somehow, a weapon fell on the ground. From what I'm being told, it's not Allstar JR's weapon. The weapon belongs to a 4K trade member, and it's not Ben10. That gun was then grabbed by Allstar JR, and he fired a few times. Few times I hit Ron, and then he hit Ben reportedly once. Ironically, and by the luck of the draw, and you got to say God's grace to some extent, he fires at Ben while Ben's on the ground, and I think he misses him, but I think the bullet ricochets off the ground and kind of hits like his neck area, which, if you don't know anatomy, your spinal cord that controls all your movement is in your neck. Well, it runs all the way up to your brain, but that spinal cord is there. Now, this would make sense why we're now seeing Ben10 in the hospital. We don't see any abrasions on his neck front way. He has no shots here, but it would make sense why maybe shots or a bullet would hit here. Now, that's what I'm being told, because supposedly, well, I didn't ask this part, but I'm expecting if he's on the ground, his back is on the marble or the floor, and he's face up. But I could be, so I'm saying it's a ricochet, because the bullet clearly hit the back of his neck head area, and that's why we're now hearing some of these things that they're claiming are the damages. Now, either or he was laid on his stomach, and Allstar JR was shooting him. By the way, this is a picture. This is a live picture of the shots being fired. This is Allstar JR, and this is Ben10. Now, I will tell you the truth. I did when I spoke to Ben10, and I didn't say this part, but he did acknowledge that he said he did get stood over. He admitted that. He said he got stood over. And he said the guy ran out of bullets. I think that's God. The dude is standing. This picture is as clear as day now. He's standing over you, and he ran out of bullets. Okay? Apparently, remember, it's not his gun. He already shot another guy, and this was Ben10. Apparently, after this shot here, the gun, there's no more bullets in the gun. Okay? So that's kind of what happened. By the way, this is the same thing that happened to Lil Tim. That's why Lil Tim is alive. Lil Tim, after he got shot, they walk him down to execute Lil Tim. Gun jams. Shootout is happening because the police has intervened, and that's why Lil Tim did not get executed point blank range. So Ben10 has his life because this gun ran out of ammo. it appears that it may have not been a full clip, a standard clip, and I don't know what particular gun this is. It does look like a small gun, but let's say it's a SIG P365 or something like that. It's still going to be able to hold 10 or 15. I don't know if 10 bullets were fired. So it does make sense why we see no gunshot wounds to the face and the chest, the gunshot wound to border region. And we get the cops who, by the way, so they put out a criminal complaint. And this is a problem here. Now, he's a felon. Remember, a felon should not possess a weapon. You know, grabbing a gun, that's possessing a weapon. Now, I always say, why would the feds or the cops, you know, charge a defendant with that or a victim with that? But I particularly think the reason why they're doing this is that Jeremy Christopher Ford, a.k.a. Allstar JR, didn't act like a victim. He acted like a villain. He acted like a criminal. After he shot the men, he left the scene before the police arrived. Only people that were on the scene were the people that were actually, allegedly, the assailants who tried to rob him. So he dipped. The police never talked to him. I'll read what the complaint kind of says in summary. A Detroit rapper accused of opening fire inside a Houston restaurant is now facing federal gun charges after investigators say the incident was caught on surveillance video and followed by taunting social media posts. According to the criminal complaint, Jeremy Christopher Ford, also known as Allstar JR, is being charged with felon in possession of a firearm. Investigators say the shooting happened around 11:23 on April 8th, 2026 at a restaurant on Kirby Drive in Houston. Now it makes sense when they're saying you were running up Kirby, right? When officers arrived, they found one person suffering from gunshot wound to the neck, another in the parking garage with multiple gunshot wounds to the hand and the leg. Both were taken to the hospital. The police say the trail of blood led from the dining area to the elevator into the garage. At the scene, the officers found a Glock 43X handgun. So remember last night we speculated, did he take the gun off the scene? No, he did not. So this is that type of gun. Okay, it's a pretty small gun. I love me my Glockianas. You know, I keep a 19 right there. I keep how many Glocks do I have? Jesus Christ. Yeah, I got two 19s, both Gen 5s. I think I have a 45. That's the gold one. I have a gold. Well, it's modified. Just has no engraving. So that's a Glock 45. But anyway, okay, this is like regular handguns. The 45 is a little bit bigger than the 19. 19 is like perfect size, at least for my hands. But this is a G43X. This is a pretty small handgun. For smaller handguns, I prefer a SIG. So not to get into too much into gun, I gotta go back to the range. I gotta do like a vlog at a range or something. P365. Okay. So for me, you know, not trying to give anybody any advice or tips or whatever, but if you want them guys, you know, you want to super concealed carry, you want to wait, no, this ain't the one, is it? Am I tripping? No, the one I'm talking about is dumb small. No, I think it is this. Smallest. Okay, yeah, it's this. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's this shit right here. Yeah. It fits in your palm. I'm guessing. Let me just ask. I'll ask ChatGPT to kind of like P365. Is it micro? All right, micro compact versus G40. Okay, let's see which one's smaller. Okay, yeah, the SIG is smaller. It's a true micro compact. Better, yeah. I rock with the SIG for that. So, but you know, I mean, it's a gun's a gun, right? You know, and it also makes sense why Ben10 told me. Ben10 said, "Ack, He never took my gun. I don't carry small guns like that. He's like, I carry big old guns. Straight up. That's what he told me. He said, I don't carry small guns like that. I carry big old guns. Straight up. Feel me? So this was the gun. Okay. This clip still holds, it still holds 10. As a fact, look, yeah, it's 10 plus 1. 10 plus 1. So this holds 10, in a standard magazine, it holds 10. 10 in the clip, and you could obviously have one in the chamber if you rack it and then, unload it and put the extra one in, right? So, yeah. So that was the gun. It was left in the scene. The magazine was the extra magazine. There was a holster and multiple spent shell casings and bullet fragments. According to investigators, surveillance video shows Ford's inside the restaurant before a group approached him, leading to a confrontation. During an altercation, authorities say several people appear to grab his necklace and watch, escalating the situation. At some point, a handgun fell to the floor. During the fight, investigators say he picked it up and began firing it as people ran. One man collapsed after being shot, while others fled towards the elevator. I will tell you this, and I guess all this information is going to be public anyway, so I could tell you some of the stuff I was kind of waiting for Ben10 to speak on. Ben10 showed me some proof that Ron was getting discharged. So Ron was already about to leave the hospital. He never told me why he was in the hospital still, Ben10, but he did show me some proof that Ron, which would be the person who got shot in the fingers or the hand and the feet, he got discharged, I guess, whatever, right? I think, obviously they're going to have to do physical therapy and all that, but it is what it is. Authorities say Ford continued to fire, including additional shots in the direction of another person who was running away. So it looked like Allstar JR started firing shots at somebody else. Who knows? That could have been at OG3. That could have been at J. Prince Jr. The complaint alleges that Ford returned to the injured man and fired an additional round close range while he was lying on the floor. Investigators say he later pointed the gun again, so that's when he stood over him. Okay, so it looked like he got a chance to shoot Ben10 a couple times. For whatever reason, he just didn't get it done, right? Investigators say he later pointed the gun again, but appeared to be out of ammunition. The court documents also alleges he struck the man with a handgun and spit on him. Oh, wow. So these things are true. The court documents alleges he struck the man with the handgun, so he pistol whipped him and then spit on him before leaving. Authorities say a third person, believed to be a bystander, was also shot, but suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Hospital officials told investigators one of the injured victims had his finger amputated, so that's Ron, due to a gunshot wound and suffered severe leg injuries. Another victim, as of April 15th, did not have feeling in his legs. That, I believe, would be Ben10. So they're saying as of about last week, and we're about 7 days out from that date, they're saying he didn't have feelings in his leg. We've seen him post a lot of Instagram videos. We haven't seen him walk, right? I seen somebody say, wiggle them toes. Chill. But yeah, that's interesting. Investigators say that Ford, which is Allstar JR, fled the scene in a white Cadillac Escalade before the officers arrived. Now, I think that's why he's in trouble, Chad. He fled the scene. Obviously, I think they could probably deduce from the videos that, okay, you were getting attacked, but here's what's probably happening if you ask me. They need Allstar JR to put these charges on these guys, right? Allstar JR not sticking around and somewhat cooperating, and I don't think it's cooperation, but at least saying, hey, listen, I was defending myself. This is what happened. Number one, the cops can't really, they can't arrest Ben10 and them, but Ben10 and them got shot. They went to the hospital, right? Like, yeah, even if they were involved in a fight, how much blame are you going to give them if they never shot anyone or they didn't have a gun themselves? Because apparently the gun didn't belong to either one of them. So maybe that's why we're not seeing charges yet for Ben10 and Ron, because yes, a gun got involved, but at first it's just a fight. Now, you might be saying, why do they need Allstar JR? Well, they need Allstar JR to probably affirm that it was a robbery, right? Hey, these guys all were robbing me. Even if they didn't have the gun, somebody else had the gun. And then they could put Ben10 and them in cuffs, because now they could be like, all right, cool. So we're going to lock these guys up for trying to rob you with a gun. But because he hasn't said nothing to the cops, and this is what I was saying about like that whack 100 strategy of just don't say nothing, just go get locked up. It's like, okay, you defended yourself. Now you're locked up because you didn't want to talk to the police. You didn't stick around. You left like you're the one that was doing something wrong. And what people were trying to do to you, there's no one to explain it. You know, I heard Whack once say, no, you let the camera do the talking. Yeah, you're going to leave your fate up to the fucking camera, the surveillance video to tell the true story of you being a victim. It doesn't look like you're being a victim when you're on social media. You're rapping about it. Yo, he took my chain to the hospital. Oh, I spit on him, this and third. And you're not even talking to the police, right? So the affidavit also states that after the shooting, he posted multiple videos on social media appearing to taunt those involved. Investigators say he later released a music video referencing the shooting, including lyrics about the incident and what authorities describe as a reenactment. Is that the do the Ben10 thing? Officials say Ford has a prior felony conviction in Michigan, which makes it illegal for him to possess a firearm. He was arrested as the charges are pending. Interesting. We're kind of figuring out a few things. So it appears that Ben10 may have had some spinal injury. Now, I want to caution y'all. It doesn't mean that Ben10 will be paralyzed or unable to walk for the rest of time. It doesn't mean that. All it means, if you ask me, is that, you know, it might take a while for, you know, his, you know, feeling to be restored in his foot, and, you know, maybe have to go some physical therapy that, you know, he'll probably be able to walk again. Now, what we do see here is that we can't see any like physical defects or like anything beyond a neck brace. And we can't see what's going on with the feet here, right? He's also, you know, heavily medicated. I'm wondering how this works in the hospital when, if he's showing him pouring up, maybe, is this illegal? Like, is this lean? I don't want to be the guy who's snitching. I don't even know drugs like that or these type of drugs. If someone just got arrested, it probably is a bad time if you're also in the hospital. Granted, you're not in cuffs, for you to be posting that you're drinking maybe some substances that are Schedule 1 or 2. Now, even though as much as Ben10 tells me and he's posting like, yo, I'm good, I'm fine, people are saying, well, if you don't look like you have any injuries and whatever, why can't you, you know, you're getting a haircut, you're doing this, you're sitting up, you're talking, you're throwing up signs, why can't you just walk out the bed? And again, I think it's a possibility that maybe it's taking a while for, you know, his ability to walk to return. But we do get to find out that Ron lost a finger. And people had said that when Ron had posted, it said it said here is where it was seen that he lost the finger. All right, clear nothing up.
I wake up.
Some right here. Fake. You got one. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 fingers here. And then here, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. So it looks like he lost a finger. All right, clear nothing up. Get some right here. Fake. You got one. Yeah, we see 3 here. And I think we see the thumb too. Yeah, the thumb is here. So it looks like he's missing a finger. All right, clear nothing up. Get some right here.
All you hoe ass niggas tagging me talking about, nigga, you see Ben back. You see Ben back. Well, if the bitch so back, tell him to do the Ben10. I'll double it for him. Fuck he talking about. Do that bitch, Ben. Nigga, this your dance. Get in your groove, nigga, if you back. I wake up. All you hoe ass niggas tagging me, talking about, nigga, you see Ben back.
All right. So if you ask me, I think these charges, I don't think they're gonna stick. You're gonna charge a guy for, like, yes, he, by the way, he did do the most, you know, so this happened in Houston. Houston is a stand your ground state, right? Is Houston a stand your ground state? It is. Yep. There's no legal duty to retreat before using force. Yeah. So he could walk somebody down. Obviously the spitting, hitting the guy with the pistol, I think a jury will look at that like, well, the dude just got attacked while he was eating dinner with his girl. They could probably understand it. Him leaving the scene, not waiting for the police. Yeah, he's trying to make sure he doesn't get killed by maybe one of these other guys if they come back and try to shoot him. Okay. I really think that they're going to use this case to try to pressure him to make statements that he was getting robbed. Like, they need him to say it. And when he says it, I think they're going to just use this to arrest Ben10. Honestly. Like, again, I think a good lawyer is going to be able to beat this. By the way, someone says one paralyzed and the other one got 9 fingers, it looked like. That's still a win, bleed.
You see Ben back. Well, if the
Interesting. Oh, this is what Ben10 was posting on his Instagram before?
Let's smoke one for killers. I've been mixing.
Yeah, Ben10 must be a demon. Yeah, 3 told me. 3 was like, yo, I tried to convince. It was like, we was at another spot. I had to talk him out of robbing a nigga there. I'm like, oh shit, this thing's a demon. Yo, what the fuck? It was like, yo, Ben10 was just on bad timing that time. You know what I mean? That day. But, you know, again, shit, you run into the wrong person, I guess, right? He by the way, you know, I did say to him, like, he's a very jovial guy. Like, he's in good spirits, chat. He's in good spirits. But we're gonna see how that translates to, like, in terms of his injuries. The police are saying that they did check with the hospital, you know. And by the way, you know, remember I said this in the midst of all this going on. I actually said I think the police were waiting to see if someone died. They wanted to see if this was gonna be a straight just shooting, or is this gonna be a murder. And it appears that it's just a shooting at this point because both guys are going to survive. That's why I think they brought the charges now. Yeah, look at some of these. There's another video. There's another picture somewhere too. At least he got the Louis V on. At least he got the Louis V on, chat. Let me see if I can find the full complaint. Trying to see if I can find the full complaint. Just give me 1 second. They say stood over him, spit on him. Jesus Christ.